Yo, what's up? J. Roos Theory. Yo, undefeated podcast. I caught that. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but I don't like flattery. I did a video on my backup platform in WJ. It was called Dillian. So I'm on YouTube. I see Undefeated Podcast has a video called Dillian. They just left out the commas. Come on, y'all. I don't know if they saw my video, but, you know, sometimes I think bigger channels can, uh, you know, jack stuff from smaller channels and they figure who's going to know they're the smaller channel, we're the bigger channel. They're not that big of a channel, they just have more subscribers than mine, but I just thought that was interesting. They just happened to name their video Dillian. What are the odds of that? And I'm subscribed to their podcast, I believe. I think they did an interview with Lennox Lewis way back, and I thought it was a good interview. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. No big deal. But what do you think it will take to get the top guys in the heavyweight division in the ring? What will it take? I was hoping the Crawford-Spence fight would get everybody at the negotiation table, because you see how that fight nearly broke the internet. So why would promoters not want to be a part of that? After Fury fights Ngannou, after Usyk fights Dubois, after Joshua, hopefully Wilder. Now see, if Joshua gets past Helenius, which I suspect he'll do, then we definitely have to get that Wilder fight happening. I don't know why it got pushed back from December to January. Let's get it December. This has been a big year for boxing. Let's get all these fights in this year, the ones that we can get going. Tyson Fury eventually is going to have to fight Usyk, belt or no belt. That's just something that the people want. Might not be that exciting of a fight because both of them box so well. Might be a lot of, posing and feinting and stuff like that. So it might not be that exciting for the highlight reels, but that's a fight that the people want to see. We want to see Joshua Wilder, like I said. Hopefully maybe you get 2 or 3 fights out of that, depending on how the first goes. We were saying that about Crawford-Spence too, that maybe we get 2 or 3 fights out of that, but that fight was so one-sided that most people that follow boxing, we don't want to see a rematch. I know Errol Spence wants to run it back in December. I don't think that's enough time for him to heal mentally or physically. Man, Teddy Atlas is so on point. A lot of people have stuff to say about Teddy Atlas. I like Teddy Atlas because the dude knows how a boxer thinks. He used to box, listen to his audio book. But I was listening to him on his podcast, and he says some deep things. He was saying that Errol Spence is like the first Terminator in the first one, and he said Terrence Crawford is like the updated version. And he said Terrence Crawford was doing what he wanted to do with him, like in school when the teacher used to pull you by your ear and place you where you wanted. He said that's pretty much what Terrence Crawford was doing to Errol Spence. And he just has a lot of great boxing insight. He knows how fighters think. And I'm going to try to, I've done videos about Teddy Atlas before, but I want to break down some of the stuff he says, because he just doesn't give you the X's and O's of boxing. He lets you know what the fighter's thinking, the mentality, the fear aspect, the confidence aspect. And, he talked about how Derek James, probably should have stopped the fight, because you don't want the fighter to, stop it, because then that messes with his confidence. If you stop it, then it looks like, well, I had some more to give. But if the fighter kind of quits, then that can mess with their confidence in future fights. But yeah, Teddy Atlas has some deep things to say. Hopefully I can get him on the show in the near future. But back to what I was talking about, the heavyweight division. We got to get these fights going. The lower divisions are getting them going. We had Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, Crawford Spence. We got to get the big boys in there. And I get tired of hearing about all the negotiations. You know, this guy wants this much money, this guy wants that much money. A lot of people find that stuff fascinating. I don't. Back in the day, we just wanted the fights, and eventually we got them. Sometimes they were delayed, but you know, most of the time we got the fights we wanted. We never got Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe, but other than that, most of the fights we wanted to see happened. And we got to continue to keep the ball rolling forward. We got to continue this nice pace of having the top fighters fight. So, I mean, if I was a championship fighter, I mean, how much money do you need? I wouldn't even care. I'd be like, I'd do like Usyk when they tried to lowball him. I'd be like, oh, 60, 40, 70, 30, whatever, I'll take it. And they'd be like, oh, word? You gonna take it for real? But we got to get these big fights going, man. We got to strike right now while the big fights are happening. Even casuals were interested in this fight. I'm sick of the Jake Pauls beating up the UFC guys. It's not a good look for the UFC either to have their guys. I don't care if they're 78 years old or 80 years old. They're still getting beat up by Jake Paul. So we need the real heavyweights out there to get in the ring, fight, stop worrying about money, stop worrying about contracts, get in the ring, make it happen, and the money will be there if you make the fights happen. You ain't got to worry about money. Just make the fights happen. Anyway, it's the J. Roos Theory, LSR Forever, undefeated podcast. Stop biting my style. Wow. I saw that. Y'all didn't think I saw it? I saw it. But thanks for watching. This is the J. Roos Theory. Make sure to comment, share, subscribe, and be fearless. Yay.